Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Double Dragon for the NES, a beat-em-up that is a port of the arcade game by the same name. Pretty cool game, pretty cool version of the game. One of my favorite beat-em-ups of the era. Still the one I probably go back to the most, even over Double Dragon 2. Although Double Dragon 2 is probably arguably like the better game of the two. I still have a major soft spot for this game. It's just a lot of fun to play. It doesn't require a very large time commitment. It's pretty straightforward, so there's, not a lot to learn, even compared to Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 2's got some really tight timing on certain moves that are very, very useful. And Double Dragon 1 is just like, pretty straightforward, pretty fun. Got a great soundtrack, as you can see. It kicks off on a, quite a high note on the title screen here. And it's just good stuff. I really love going back to this game. And what we're going to do is attempt to play through this. You get 0 continues in the game, so it's not the easiest game out there. It can definitely be a little stress-inducing. Spoiler though, I actually already did a playthrough of this, and I failed. I got to the very final boss, killed the final boss, and time ran out right as I killed the final boss. Meaning I wasn't able to see the ending. So we're going to go ahead and try it again. And I'm going to re-explain everything, and we're going to hope for the best here. So, but before we go ahead and try round 2, as usual, we're going to give a big shout out to our current Patreon backers, and so they're going to flash by the screen. Thank you guys for your direct support to my channel here. Likewise with the recent live stream super chatters and channel members. So thank you guys for being patrons of my channel as well. And thanks to everyone else out there just watching and enjoying the content as is, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here doing this on as regular of a basis as I am. So let's go ahead and hit the select key of all keys. Pressing start A or B doesn't do anything, and we're going to jump into mode A, 1 player. So 2-player mode on this is actually alternating, kind of like the original Super Mario Brothers, and mode B is a 2-player at the same time mode, but it is a one-on-one fighting game instead of the traditional beat-em-up mode that we have here. It's kind of interesting, but not that great. So what we're going to do here is just punch enemies for most of this first area. The reason I want to do that is you get experience points in this, and my goal here is to try to level up as fast as I can to get the elbow as earliest as I can, because the elbow is insanely powerful in this game. But what I normally do when I play sort of casually is I just kick. Kicking is, probably my favorite attack in the game. And, it doesn't give as many experience points, though, as your punches do. So we're going to go ahead and just keep punching to maximize our experience points. And level 2 is the uppercut and the roundhouse kick. You also have the headbutt right off the bat, so you can do the headbutt as well, but I find it to be relatively useless. Enemies have a tendency of ducking it, and I just, it's got a slow wind-up compared to your punch or kick, and it's just not that great. You'll actually see me do it by accident occasionally over the course of playthroughs. So if you ever see a headbutt come out, it's not because I really wanted to do it, but it's because I double tap forward too hard. Here's one of the many glitches in the game. You can take that barrel and throw it up like that, which is always fun. So Double Dragon actually isn't the most polished game out there. It's got a lot of bugs and glitches in it, but if you play the game normally, there's a good chance you're not going to experience them. But it's one of those games where, like, the bugs and glitches sort of enhance the game, sort of give the game a little bit of extra longevity, if you will. And it's fun to try to take advantage of some of those glitches and show them off to people and have people's mouths drop because they've never seen anything like that before. It gets wildly glitchy in this game. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and just start kicking these guys. We leveled up to level 3, which gives us our jump kick. And so what I want to do is just smack this Linda in the face. And I went ahead and actually just did a completely accidental headbutt again. There we go. We're just gonna take care of them like that. You can also actually come up here like so. This is another one of the glitches in the game. So lots of glitches like that, like I was mentioning. But again, if you play the game normally, you won't even notice them. There are a few advantageous glitches as well, such as on level 2, you can actually just push the level 2 boss off the screen by going down a ladder, and you'll actually make the boss disappear, making the boss a little bit easier to deal with. Not that he's normally that hard to deal with anyway, But now that we've got full health, let's go ahead and just try to... Actually, we don't really want to punch. We don't want to punch this Abobo. It's gonna be way too dangerous. So sometimes what I do is I'll just do a kick and then I'll do a jump kick immediately after, kind of like so. Well, that was really bad timing. I actually kicked and then walked forward, then jump kicked. So we want to get it, you know, nice tight timing back to back like that. And there we go, Abobo is dead. So one way you can actually kill the Abobo on that section is to get him on the conveyor belt there, and then kick or jump kick him off the edge. And that is probably the easiest way to deal with him. So what I'm gonna do is actually try to punch these guys too. Get some extra points here. Extra experience points. You do have normal points in this game. You've got score. Unfortunately, the score doesn't really do anything for you. It's just there to, you know, for people that want to chase high scores. That's pretty much it. Yeah, no extra lives or anything in this game. You have 2 lives, and that's all you've got for the entire playthrough. And level 4 is here, so level 4, what that lets you do, you can knee guys in the head, and by pressing A when you've grabbed them, you can throw them in the opposite direction. And these guys have dynamites. What I want to do is grab that and then just toss it right back in his face. And for some reason, it didn't actually hurt him, but it did give me some points, which was nice. So there's actually a glitch you could do here as well, is have some of those guys follow you up this girder. And when you do that, and you push them off the screen and then come back, they'll still be there, but they'll be invisible. And they won't be able to die. They won't be able to hurt you, but they won't be able to die either. And so you can actually max out your levels very, very quickly that way. It's kind of a fun glitch that I actually didn't really know about until just recently. It's one of those glitches I didn't learn until I was an adult. So we got the baseball bat. Probably not the best weapon to use as far as getting experience points is concerned, because it does a lot of damage. And as far as getting experience points, kneeing and throwing these guys doesn't actually do anything in terms of experience points. It does a lot of damage, but it won't actually give you any experience points. So one way to counteract that is to try to just punch these guys. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and just skip that whip, because again, I want some experience points. Let's see if they come up. You gonna come up? Alright, so what I'm gonna be able to do is actually... I might be able to just push that guy off the screen. And whoop! Yeah, it almost seems like with punching, you're better off like mashing the button. And normally in games like this, I don't recommend mashing the button. But it seems to work pretty well with punching in this game specifically. And there we go. There goes the whip. So weapons in this game are unfortunately tied to you know, certain groups of enemies. So that whip was tied to those Lindas, which is the name of those enemies. And so I don't know if it's due to memory limitations or something like that, but you won't be able to carry weapons all the way through stages in this game, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the boss. If you wanted to just cheese him, you could go down the ladders and he'll just sit there. He won't come after you. And when you push him off the screen, he just disappears and he dies, and it's instant success for you guys. So we've actually got level 6 now, which is the elbow. This is actually really good timing on the elbow. We got it at the end of level 2. That's a really good point to get it. So now we've got the elbow for all of level 3 if we want. And the elbow is the most powerful move in the game. And there's going to be a guy starting off here with a knife, and you can actually, you know, knock the knife out of his hand by jump kicking it into him as he does that. And you can also jump kick these guys as they fall down, which is always kind of fun to do. And there we go. See, look at that. That was just a ton of damage. Now, I do want to be careful here with the elbow, because what happens with it is that enemies have a tendency of trading hits with you. And so a lot of times you'll use the elbow, but you won't go by unscathed. You will take a hit, and every single hit in this game basically chips away at your health bars. And so you've got to really watch out for that. With these guys, a lot of times the best course of action is just to kick and then grab them. And you know, as you're close and you kick, you will usually grab them without a problem. You can also, again, try to elbow them, but like I said, you end up trading hits a lot of times, which isn't really happening right now. But notice how they keep ducking my elbows. A lot of times what happens is they get up and they hit me after they've ducked one of my elbows. So, and, you know, the thing about Double Dragon 1 on NES is you don't get any health replenishments except for when you go through doors. And we don't actually start going through doors until, well, the end of level 1, you get a health refill. And then level 3, you get a couple of health refills from that. And then level 4, I think you get 1 health refill by doing that. And here is where platforming starts as well. The platforming can be really nasty in this game. And you know what? I don't really care about leveling up anymore, so what I'm going to do is just kill these guys with weapons when I can. Which actually isn't all that often from here on out. Enemies don't drop a lot of weapons from here on out, so it's mainly hand-to-hand combat all the way, no sub-weapons, no knives. Although actually there is an exception on near the end of this level where a couple of those guys come out with some more dynamite. But man, look at how much damage we've done there. Now there is actually another move you can do where when you get enemies on the ground, this comes at level 5, you can basically get on top of them and smack them in the face. There we go. That's also very powerful, but there are a bunch of enemies that'll actually... the chins in particular, you know, the guys without shirts on and the big baggy pants, they will, they'll actually push you off of them. So you can't actually get on top of all the enemies in this game and smack them in the face. So now, this is one of the tougher parts in the game. We have to fight 2 Abobos head-on. So one strategy is to just elbow them like this. Another strategy is just to jump kick. If you're trying to play like more of the, you know, less of an advanced strategy, or not so much advanced because, I mean, this is Double Dragon 1 on the NES, you know, there really aren't advanced strategies in this game. It's just, you know, you pick a move, any move, hope it works, that sort of thing. Some moves work better than others. The jump kick is one of the best moves in the game. Although you do have to watch out for enemies ducking it and then hitting you on the, you know, on the way back up. But the elbow is probably the riskier strategy, but it's much more dangerous, you know, for the enemies themselves. But again, you're more likely, like, see, I just traded a hit there, so you can only do that so many times before you get low on health, and you need to start playing really safe. And the safer strategy is the jump kick strategy. So what we're going to do here is just try to dodge these things, these stalactites that are falling down from the ceiling. This could be a relatively irritating part for some people. I've seen people get here for the first time and then just get annihilated by it. You can also try to jump over these things to give yourself, you know, there you go. That actually was perfect. Once you hit the trigger point to go to the next screen, they actually disappear. So that's a nice little trick to know. So just get to the safety zone and then they'll all just go away. And for this part right here, I just jump kick over like that. And then a couple more chins are going to pop out, and for this part, I just kick them. And it doesn't really matter how much damage I take, because once we go through this door here, which is the correct route, there are actually multiple routes in this game on certain sections in the game. And not necessarily multiple routes, they're usually fake routes that'll put you right back out at the beginning of the level. And those are routes you don't want to go to. Because they waste your time, and time is really important in this game. You will run out of time if you spend too long, and again, you have limited lives in this game. You only have 2 lives, or I guess technically 3. So it goes P2, P1, and P0, so you actually play 3 lives in this. But that's it, 3 lives, and it's game over, and that is it. So what we're going to do is come back down here, and I am going to jump kick from the top of this cliff here. And hope I got it. Okay, I got it. Good. And that was close. Those almost knocked me into this fire down here, which is really, really bad. And I try to jump a little early on those platforms too, because if I get too close to them, watch this. Watch Billy as we slip off. He slips off early. So it's not like Castlevania or Mega Man where you can sit halfway off a platform. You will fall off early on these platforms, which is really bad. I'm going to go ahead and just try to elbow this guy over and over, and just try to keep my distance after I knock him down. See, there we go. We just traded hits, like I was saying. But our health is still good right now, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And we still have plenty of health, more than enough health to deal with one Abobo here. So So this actually is a nod to the arcade game. The arcade game does this, where you get to the end of, near the end of Mission 3, and you have to fight green abobos. It was always kind of a cool twist. There was almost like they're zombie abobos or something. What we're gonna do is just fall straight down here like this, and then we're just gonna elbow these Lindas over and over. We'll basically just kill them in one hit. And I'm not really worried about trading hits here because we just have to kill all these Lindas and then no more enemies spawn. And there we go. Now we can basically just fall down here like so. And that's sort of the shortcut to get down here. And we go through this big ass door and then we go to Mission 4. And Mission 4 is one of the tougher missions in the game because of these blocks in the very beginning, so I'm going to try a strategy I learned from a fellow named BIL on the Shmups forum. He set the line up with the black vertical lines, and you actually won't get hit by these blocks that pop out. I'm gonna jump over like that, and then just try to just sit here like this. Wait for a couple to come out. Wow, that was actually really good. That was a lot better than my last attempt, where I took a lot of hits. But yeah, he actually mentioned that in a beat-em-up thread a couple weeks back, and you know, I had to give that a try. And that's actually sort of what spawned this Let's Play. Is what was keeping me from Let's Playing this game for so long was my lack of consistency on getting through that section. And I pretty much have to have my maximum amount of lives if I want to get to, you know, and actually beat this game. Because again, no continues. So, and what I'd prefer to do is actually knock these guys off the edge, but sometimes easier said than done, but that's actually really good. And we can use try to use the knife on one of these guys, do some extra damage. Now we've actually maxed out our level, so we actually got the big roundhouse kick. Which is nice, but the problem with the big roundhouse kick is that there's a lot of wind-up. Like, he jumps up, spins around, kicks. It's a really cool-looking move for an NES game, but it's not the most useful move in the game, unfortunately, which is kind of interesting that they make it the final move in the game. But so far, so good on level 4. Let's go ahead and jump over this gap right there. So if I wanted to, I could fight the Abobo, but it'll loop us right back to the beginning, and we don't want that. So again, there are false exits in this game. Not necessarily false exits, but false pathways in this game. They just loop you back to the beginning. And as long as we can get through here without dying, we'll actually get our health back, and we'll go to another platforming section. Fortunately, in this game, the platforming sections aren't usually too bad. They're usually pretty straightforward. It's just like, here's a jump, here's another jump. Nothing too crazy. Whereas with Double Dragon 2, you'll have that stuff, but then you'll have, like, fireballs coming up from the ground. You'll have spikes coming up from the ground. It gets really, really dangerous in Double Dragon 2 and really frustrating. I still love Double Dragon 2. It's also one of my favorite beat-em-ups in the system. Double Dragon 1 and 2 are my favorite beat-em-ups on the NES. Sorry, TMNT. They're just so much fun to come back to, and they're just, you know, really, really awesome games. Although they have some really frustrating parts that aren't going to be for everyone. So I'm going to leave that guy up there. As long as you leave one of those guys sort of on the screen like that, other guys won't come through these doors. And one guy is going to spawn on one of these because I pushed that other guy off. Let's see who it's going to be. It's probably going to be this one. Yep, just as I thought. And wow, lucky hit right there, man. Yeah, very, very lucky hit. Let me actually see if this guy spawns here. Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna leave him. Let him climb up here like this. So you can basically manipulate, you know, how these enemies come out. Can I jump up? I did not want to do that, but it's okay, because we'll get our health back. I just want him as close as I can, so he's still kind of on the screen, and none of the other doors will register. And there we go. So again, you know, there is platforming here, and if you fall down, you die. And I was really lucky I didn't slip off the platform like that. If you get knocked over and you're too far, you know, too close to the edge of a platform, you'll notice your body starts to slip off a little bit, but sometimes it'll catch back on and you won't actually fall. And that's what happened to me, unfortunately. Oh, what are you doing here? You should not be here. So this is actually kind of bad. The idea is to get it to where these guys don't spawn in. And we unfortunately failed to do that successfully, so... But that's okay, as long as I don't die, you know, again, I get my health back. And this next section coming up is the final section in the game. We've got both lives, so that's very good. Last time I played this, I made a bad mistake. I died on the gray area just before this, and then I slipped off one of these platforms and died. And there we go, max time limit. And we want to try to get through this as quickly as we can, because the last time I came here, I actually ran out of time on the final boss. So what I'm going to end up doing is just trying to elbow a lot of these guys to do maximum damage. And if I die in the final fight, it's okay. I've got 2 lives left. We have to go through this red carpeted fight all the way from the beginning if we die, but that's okay. There we go. There's 1. There's 2. And he doesn't want to get close to me for some reason. Hey, I wouldn't want to get close to me either, with all the damage I've been doing to these guys. There we go. And again, I'm playing a little more offensively here, because I don't want to run out of time again, because I've already done it once today on these playthrough attempts. Fortunately, this is only my second playthrough attempt. This isn't one of those where we've gone through the game, you know, 15 times before I successfully get a good Let's Play. Of course, now that I've said that, I will probably jinx myself, and that will happen. And there we go. Get some good elbows. You can just smack them like that, right as they come out. A little bit difficult to smack them right as they come out, but it is something you can do. And here's the final boss. Elbowing him is very, very dangerous because he's got a machine gun, so oftentimes what I do is I just kick him. And he actually doesn't have that much life, so he's really not that bad to deal with. It's just you don't want to get touched by his machine gun bullets, because they will do a ton of damage. But here's an example of elbowing him. Or not. Yeah, in the arcade version of this game, he's actually the final boss. Now, if you're playing on 2-player mode, you fight your brother afterwards. Now, in the NES one, since there is no 2-player mode, the actual final boss is your brother, who would be the second player in the arcade game. And there we go. Let's see if we can get a quick elbow off of him. Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to elbow him like that. It's probably not the safe strategy, but we're gonna try it. Because the strategy I was doing last time I tried this is I would do a kick and then a jump kick. So just a quick 1-2. And I swear I hit the guy like 50 times and he still didn't die. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. If we succeed here, maybe what I'll do is add the add the failed footage on, just so you can see exactly what happened. That'll be fun. So there we go. Good hits so far. But again, our time is ticking down. So, you know, every time he ducks, that's just time wasted. And I don't mind trading hits because his jump kick doesn't do a ton of damage, but my elbow does. And this is the strategy I was doing before. There we go, got a good elbow on him. Ooh, look at that! 1 credit clear on Double Dragon on NES. Whew, I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die because time was running low. Man, those elbows, they were doing a ton of damage. A ton of damage. So, it seems like if you got a full health bar and you've got enough time, that seems to be the strategy to do, is just trade hits, do the elbow, and, you know, have that be it. And there's our ending. That's it. It's a very short ending, so I basically redid this entire playthrough so you guys could see all of 10 seconds. So, you can thank me later. But that's Double Dragon on NES. I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. I hope you guys learned something if you're having trouble with this game, or even if you're not having trouble, hopefully you learned something as well. What I'm going to do is actually go ahead and play out the failed footage of the final boss fight there, just so you can see what happened, where I basically fought him with kicks and jump kicks. Failed. Well, not really failed. I succeeded, but then I failed because I ran out of time. And which was ironic. I went into the whole fight with 0 lives, so you know the pressure was on, you know, right from the very beginning. It would have been awesome to succeed there, because you know there's one thing getting it perfect like I just did, but there's another thing to be on the brink of destruction and then come back and succeed. That's always fun to show off for people. So. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. And for all you guys already subbed, thanks for the continued support. Hope you guys continue to enjoy these videos. Feel free to give the video a big thumbs up or thumbs down. Share it with friends. Do whatever if you thought this playthrough was worthwhile and might be of help to others. Yeah, until the next one, guys, take it easy. Enjoy this quick failed footage here.